sheep. Dirty deeds. Little Bo Peep. Dirty deeds. Done with sheep. Dirty deeds and they're done with sheep. Dirty deeds and they're done with sheep. Warning signs. Electric fences. High voltage. Done with sheep. Dirty deeds. Don't tell them what I've done to you. Done with sheep. Dirty deeds. Dirty deeds. Dirty deeds. Done with sheep.
Anti-Afro Svengalis. Yes, I'm coming on here to do a scam rant, which of course involves dirty deeds done dirt cheap. Keep in mind, this also has to include the dirty deeds Umar does with the sheep, which is why we have arrived where? Nowhere in terms of what has been expected versus what has been communicated. So Umar hijacking all this money, continuing to tell these lies, does indeed represent his dirty deeds with sheep. It's a pretty sad situation. And again, I don't like to spend too much time on these so-called supporters because it's not part of the equation when we talk about a solution. I want to start out with something that Lennon Honor pointed out in one of his most recent live streams. Check out Umar and his dirty nails. And the reason why I mention this, he spends so much time focused on what black women are doing with their hair and their nails and their grooming. And this dude can't even keep his nails clean. And this is not the first time we've seen that. So I typically don't even address the nonsense about people, or mainly black men, Umar at the top of the list, posting videos and memes about women's grooming. Tell me that isn't somebody with the mindset that is so lame and contorted. And here we go, because it's always shrouded in hypocrisy. And it flows right into what I'm going to talk about. I really think it's just beyond incomprehensible that you have people like Umar who is trying so hard to figure out the angle of his next scam, because he has been muted by Facebook. He has been muted by Instagram. When I say muted, not only did he have this ban that went 30 days, he's teetering on being permanently banned from Facebook / Instagram and some other related social media sites. It's just a matter of time, and he's trying so hard to contain himself, but he's unable to. So specifically what I'm going to address now is point out yet another level of tragic hypocrisy coming from Umar. Most people, if you haven't heard, I'm going to tell you about it. The shooting that occurred in Georgia, the brother Ahmaud Arbery, who unfortunately, needlessly lost his life. Then you have the scam rants going on. And I'm telling you, I'm picking out Umar because of the level and extensive duration of his scam, specifically hijacking titles he doesn't have to further promote his scam. So here you have someone who has called for the death of our black youth. He has literally stated, we need to kill our black youth. 10% of them. I don't care if you say 1 person or 1%. Who the hell is Umar to call for the life of someone else? He doesn't have any more caring about a black life than those 2 white dudes who took the brother's life. Are you serious? This is why I call it a scam rant. This is ridiculous. Furthermore, and most recently, what did Umar Johnson do? He set about threatening the lives of me and other people, but yet he's up here posting memes and having the nerve to talk about what happened to the brother in Georgia. So the reason why I tend not to go so much into these actual details and debate cases when our people lose their lives in these situations, because I think it's fruitless. It's fruitless when you have somebody like Umar who's up here ripping off our people, threatening to kill our own people, that has the nerve to complain about these two white dudes or a white person that takes the life of one of our people. That's ridiculous. And I'm telling you this much. There is one positive aspect of all this. Umar has been muted. He is unable to do and say, verbalize the things he was saying and doing before. And I consider that success. And why has Umar been muted? Umar has been muted because he doesn't want to lose Facebook and Instagram. And I'm not going to stop talking about that because it's at the forefront of my mind, because this is our opportunity to shut this scam down. We need to keep ranting, and we'll call it rants. I don't care if people don't like the fact that we call it rants or that it is a rant. We need to keep speaking up. This is very destructive behavior. This scam has gone on for far too long. So let me go back a little bit and focus more for a second on the Facebook and the Instagram and social media. Umar knows that he depends on fast talking, even though he makes no sense. People want to say, or some people, oh, he's intelligent. Well, no, I don't look at it that way. He just strings together words that sound good, but there's no substance to it. What happens when you challenge or you have a discussion with Umar about these issues? He goes on the personal attack. He starts to threaten people with death. What kind of intelligence is working with that? There is no intelligence associated, because his rhetoric, his disease-minded rhetoric, has one specific purpose, and that is to separate black folks from their money. I won't even say it's hard-earned money, and I'll tell you why. Because most of the money doesn't come from working people. If this money was coming from working people, Umar would not be in the situation that he's in. Even if he was using the money to straight scam and didn't give a damn, which we know he doesn't anyway, wouldn't he be in a better position than he is right now? If he got money, the thousands of dollars a month that he says he got from famous people and basketball players and engineers and lawyers and all this, would he ever have been in the situation that he's in now? No, he would not have been, and he would not be. So this is yet another level of a scam to try to draw black folks in, because his brother lost his life, and there is no discussion about what we can do for our own people in reducing the number of our people who kill each other. I don't care if people don't like what I'm saying. It's a futile conversation to expect you're going to get all this justice from a group of people who knows you don't have any regard for yourselves. That's where you need to start. But here come the vultures. Umar leading the pack, trying to put this issue in the forefront so people can tune in. And what is he going to do? Beg for money. That's the only thing he's going to do. Speaking of begging for money, I am working on a few videos about Wilmington. I've made some calls. I'm not going to get into it right now because I got a few more things I need to research. That's history, because whatever Umar says, it's associated with public access to information. That's why I'm not fretting. That's why I'm not upset, because any and everything that he says associated with this building can be verified and accessed through Freedom of Information request. And again, I will get into that. But I think it's downright vile and repugnant to have people coming on here talking about this brother who lost his life, and they don't give a damn about what's happening in our own communities in terms of we're killing each other off. Where is the discussion on that? Where is the action on that? Where is the demand for something to be done about that? Well, there is no demand, because it's profitable for those who support this type of situation that is festering in the black communities. They don't care. They could care less. They don't even reinvest in the community. Look at Umar. Is he reinvesting in the community? And again, I'm telling you why I'm focusing on Umar, because he's hijacking the titles. He hijacks titles that he doesn't have. He hijacks people's lineage that he doesn't have, and then he makes money off of it for himself. Most of us have seen Lennon's videos. If you haven't, I'm posting the last few videos. Look at the state of this building. People, please, is Umar invested in the black community? Is he trying to find a way for us to address the needs and concerns of our community? And then the fool has the nerve to turn around and say, what are you doing for the black community? Well, if anyone said nothing, we'd be even, because he's not doing anything. All Umar has done is stolen money for himself. So, yes, if you want to say we aren't doing anything for the black community, we're on the same page, because Umar's not doing anything about the black community. Mind you, how many of us have come up here and pledged by taking money from our people that we would do something with the money? None of us but Umar. When I say none of us, I'm talking about in terms of the last 10 years have specifically focused on this so-called abandoned bomb shelter, which is not a school, but this is what Umar has been saying. He has been specifically focused on convincing people that he's getting money for a school. That's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people who are randomly here and there, give me money. Oh, I'm going to convince you of this. They may be all over the place, but Umar has run the same scam into the ground. And I'm kind of glad that it turned out the way it did, with Umar just gasping, desperately trying to hold on to Facebook and Instagram. And we need to help the process along in terms of getting rid of those accounts, because that's going to pretty much tank Umar. He's pretty much 3/4 tanked anyway. Good for him. I hear that he ran some podcast, and you all sent me the clips, and I haven't had a chance to really go through the clips you sent me, but it's pathetic. And I'm glad he's gone underground. I don't care what Umar has to say underground. It's when it gets to the public domain and he's using titles and he's using the death of a brother who he didn't give a damn about, who he very much would have wanted dead anyway, according to Umar's own words. What the hell that you're going to come up here and talk about what the white man did? That to me is the biggest crock of shit, which is why I don't get involved. I'm going to get involved in my community on this level. I'm not going to be joining this garbage to sit here and say, we need to do this and we need to do that, but we're not doing anything about what's happening in our community. I'm focusing on the shit and the dirt and the smut in our community that is far from being cleaned up. You can't think people are going to take you with any level of seriousness if you do not take care of your own people. And I think it's interesting. I say take care of your own people. I don't know how many of you are really researching the history of what happened in Georgia. The backdrop of this whole incident was the community members got together and they were looking out for each other. That's not uncommon in the white community. In our community, we don't look out for each other. It's individuality, and it's trying to protect those who are scamming our people, which is why people don't want to invest in our community and live in our community. They come to our community, build it up, and they get the hell out of there. They don't live there, and they do not look like us. Why would they want to stay there? When they see you have things going on like what Umar promotes. I'm going to kill you because you said something I don't like. I'm threatening you and telling other people to do what I say and trying to harm you because you said and did something I didn't like. I think 10% of our black youth should be murdered by other black folks. Because why? Because Umar decides they don't have a right to live. This is very, very just beyond rational thought, which is why these things are going to keep happening with the brother in Georgia. It's going to keep happening because there is no value placed on our lives, and that starts with us. Yes, it's my scam rant because I know the scammers out there are taking full advantage of this unfortunate situation and refusing to deal with the main issue, the lack of self-respect, the lack of mutual respect. And let's make it clear that I am designating a distinction. You are not obligated to respect and support somebody who's ripping you off and threatening you. I'm talking about the people out there who have good intentions. No one is going to tell me that I have to be loyal to a criminal and a scambagger. You got to be out of your mind. But if you want to adopt that philosophy, you're welcome to adopt that philosophy. But that same philosophy is why the black community is in the condition that it's in. And here you have the scambagger Umar thinking he can come up here and capitalize, but thankfully he's muted because he has one more chance to be banned from Facebook and Twitter, and we are practically home free. Where is this scambagger going to be advertising? When he thinks he can get hyena yelps going again, that's not going to happen, people. And you even told me about some commencement advertisement. He wants to speak at schools. Well, if he can sneak and do it, and we don't know about it, he can sneak and do it. The second he tries to announce that he is going to be in a certain place, we're going to be on the JOB. As a matter of fact, I think we can do something else about this. We can construct a preemptive strike now that Umar apparently posted some meme. I didn't read it in detail, but I saw the note that he wants to do commencement speeches or something. Oh, we can take care of that, people. I think the pandemic is horrible. It has taken a lot of lives, but there's one silver lining. It has shut down a lot of these frauds. They're just trying to find another opportunity to regenerate themselves. Umar especially, but it hasn't really happened because he's limited, he's restricted. He needs to keep finding a way to generate revenue to carry the scam, and it is coming to a screeching halt. Trust me, people, the end is near. So it taking longer was more beneficial than it happening right away that Umar was discovered. He was figured out as the scambagger that he is. But that doesn't mean I'm going to stop pointing out his efforts to regenerate scams. So thank you again for keeping me updated. I want to make sure it's clear. We are not obligated to support any criminal. If you want to support a relative or a friend who's reform-minded, great. The community should stand behind people who are reform-minded. We should not be standing behind people who we know good and damn well are frauds and criminals. Now, stand by this, people. Make sure you hold as first priority the most important edict of all. Buyer, beware.